Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Anime Octopus. Today, we'll be diving into an intriguing fanfic scenario. What if a neglected Naruto abandoned Team 7 and joined the ANBU? Disclaimer: the content on this channel is intended solely for entertainment and discussion purposes. I do not own any of the anime footage featured in my videos. All rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Let's get started. It was yet another ordinary day for Naruto Uzumaki, navigating the harsh reality of life in Konoha. At just 8 years old, he found himself constantly evading the villagers who despised him, struggling to survive in a place he could hardly call home. His stubborn refusal to accept the Sandaime's assistance only served to complicate his already challenging circumstances. How nice it would be to simply gather some spices in peace for once. All this sneaking around isn't exactly my forte, but the Hokage frowns upon me using my abilities. I suppose I have little choice, Naruto mused as he ducked into a shadowy alley, clutching a bag of herbs and spices he had acquired within the village. I'd better slip outside the walls before anyone spots me again. With that thought, the young boy darted towards the village outskirts, eager to return to the solitude of his hideout beyond Konoha's boundaries. Naruto had taken to a reclusive life, a choice solidified at the age of 6 when he first encountered the presence within his mindscape. That discovery had led him to approach the Sandaime Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, seeking answers. Flashback. Hiruzen was entrenched in paperwork, the never-ending burden of his role, when a knock at his door provided a welcome distraction. "Enter," he called out, surprised when a young boy with a shock of red hair, someone he knew all too well, stepped into his office. "What brings you here today, Naruto? Are you having trouble with the villagers again?" Hiruzen inquired, his tone gentle but tinged with concern. "No, not exactly, Hokage Jiji. But I think I've figured out why the villagers treat me the way they do," Naruto responded, his voice carrying an unusual seriousness for his age. Caught off guard, and with a growing sense of unease, Hiruzen asked, "Oh? And what have you discovered?" "Last night, I had a dream, but it wasn't like any dream I've had before. It felt like I was trapped inside my own mind. As I wandered through this strange place, I stumbled upon a vast pit in a field. Inside the pit was a massive fox with 9 tails, and there was a tag labeled seal on the bars above the pit. I tried to speak to the fox, but it only glanced at me before returning to sleep," Naruto explained, his eyes reflecting the memory of the encounter. "I see," the Hokage murmured, realizing what the boy had encountered. This must be his first meeting with the Kyuubi within his mindscape. He's perceptive enough to piece this together, so it's time he knows the truth, Hiruzen reasoned silently. "Naruto, what you experienced wasn't merely a dream. It was your mindscape, and the fox you encountered was indeed the Kyuubi no Kitsune. How much do you know about the events that transpired 6 years ago?" "I know the Kyuubi attacked the village 6 years ago, and that the Yondaime Hokage sacrificed himself to defeat the beast. Many lives were lost that night," Naruto replied, his voice somber. "You are correct in that the Yondaime defeated the Kyuubi, but he did not kill it. Baijiu like the Kyuubi cannot be killed. If they are, they eventually reform, wreaking havoc in their feral state. The only way to contain a Baijiu is by sealing it within a newborn, whose chakra coils are still undeveloped. On that fateful night, the Yondaime, along with his wife Kushina Uzumaki, gave their lives to seal the Kyuubi within their own newborn son, you, Naruto Uzumaki," Hiruzen revealed, his voice heavy with the gravity of the truth. Naruto absorbed the information in silence before speaking again, his tone surprisingly calm. "So, you're telling me that I have the Kyuubi sealed inside me, and that I am the son of the Yondaime Hokage and the red-hot-blooded habanero of Konoha? That's a lot to take in. Why wasn't I told sooner?" Hiruzen sighed, feeling the weight of the decision made years ago. "A select few members of the Shinobi Council and I decided that it was too dangerous to reveal your lineage due to the many enemies the Yondaime made during the Third Great Ninja War. We intended to tell you either when you turned 16 or when you reached the rank of Chunin. Now that you know the truth, I must ask you to keep this information confidential. If word were to spread beyond the village, it could place you in great danger, If you can find it in your heart to forgive me for keeping this from you, I would like to offer you the keys to the Namikaze estate and everything your parents left behind for you. But Hokage-sama, wouldn't moving into the estate create unrest within the village? It might be safer for me to remain as I am. I will claim my rightful inheritance when I am better equipped to protect myself. However, I would like to retrieve any scrolls they left for me. I may be able to learn from them, the boy responded thoughtfully. Did I just hear that from a 6-year-old? His reasoning and deductive skills are astonishing, Hiruzen mused internally. As you wish, Naruto. I will retrieve the scrolls and bring them to your cave. But are you still determined to live there? It's more difficult to keep an eye on you and ensure your safety when you're outside the village walls, Hiruzen said with concern. You always have an ANBU watching over me anyway, and the villagers don't see me as much when I stay outside the walls, which reduces the trouble for everyone. Besides, I enjoy the peace and quiet of my cave, and I don't have to see things that aren't really there, Naruto explained calmly. Very well, Naruto. I'll see you tonight with the scrolls. Could you prepare a stew for us? I've always enjoyed your cooking, Hiruzen requested with a fond smile. I wouldn't mind the company. See you tonight, Hokage-sama, the boy replied, quickly leaving the office and heading toward the hidden tunnel that led to his cave. I often forget just how powerful his eyes are. I wonder if he'll ever be able to attend the academy like other children, Hiruzen pondered as he searched for the scrolls. End flashback. It had been 2 years since Naruto discovered the truth about his tenant and his lineage. During that time, he had devoted himself to studying the numerous scrolls his parents had left behind. However, he had yet to find any scrolls explaining the nature of his eyes. His eyes were a bright yellow, adorned with 4 tomoe encircling a slit-like pupil. Unlike the Sharingan, he couldn't deactivate them. His dark red hair, coupled with his unsettling eyes, often unnerved those he encountered. And if that wasn't enough, his status as the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki further alienated him. With his eyes, Naruto could cast powerful genjutsu without hand signs, simply by envisioning a scenario and making eye contact with his target. This ability was the primary reason he chose to live in a cave outside the village. He had once lost control, and the unfortunate victim of his genjutsu had taken their own life, driven by the overwhelming fear. It had been a Shin'an who was chasing him through the village on his birthday, throwing rocks at him. Naruto hadn't intended to cast an illusion, but in his emotional turmoil, he couldn't help it. The Hokage found him in the cave a few days later, and ever since, Naruto had refused to live in the village until he could control his eyes. So, for the past 2 years, Naruto had immersed himself in the knowledge his parents left behind, waiting for the day when the Sandaime would tell him if he could attend the academy like any other child. Deep in his studies, he didn't notice the footsteps approaching the entrance of his cave. Hello, Naruto. Reading anything interesting? Hiruzen inquired, amusement twinkling in his eyes. Naruto leapt into the air with a startled yelp. Hokage-sama. Don't sneak up on me like that. He exclaimed, still recovering from the shock. What do you mean, sneak up on you? I knocked on the cave wall and announced my arrival, Hiruzen replied, clearly enjoying the fact that he could still occasionally surprise his young charge. Oh, well, I was really engrossed in this scroll. It explains how to perform Fuinjutsu without ink and paper. You just make a few hand signs and write the seal in the air with your fingers, then apply your hand to the target. Cool, right? I can already do the exploding seal. Want to see? Naruto asked excitedly. Whoa, let's not blow ourselves up in your cave, alright? Show me outside, Hiruzen suggested with a smile. If this technique works as I think it does, it's remarkable. Only Kushina and Jiraiya knew how to do it. This boy will surely become a Fuinjutsu master someday, Hiruzen thought as he walked beside Naruto. Okay, watch this. Naruto called out, quickly performing 3 hand signs and then tracing patterns in the air with his left hand before touching a tree trunk. He jumped back, and the inner circle of the seal began counting down from 3 before it exploded, obliterating the tree. Whoa, that was bigger than I meant it to be, whoops, Naruto said sheepishly. That is a very impressive technique, Naruto. I don't think I know anyone aside from your Ka-san and Jiraiya that can do Fuinjutsu like that. You're a natural. Now don't you want to know why I came to visit you today? Hiruzen asked. Oh yeah, let's go back inside and we can chat. The boy exclaimed before leading the Hokage back inside by his sleeve. Alright Hokage Gigi, what did you want to talk about? Naruto asked. Remember when you asked about joining the academy? The council has reached a decision. Due to your current lack of control over your abilities, they have voted against your enrollment for now. However, before you become disheartened, I've devised an alternative plan that will ensure you receive the necessary training. I've assigned our Genjutsu specialist to personally mentor you until you gain control over your eyes. Once that is achieved, we can reconsider your academy enrollment or even have you challenge the graduation exams to become a Genin. How does that sound? Hiruzen explained. Wait, are you serious? You found someone willing to train me? Do they really want to? I don't want to be a burden. If she has more pressing duties, I can continue on my own. It's fine, Naruto replied, a tinge of loneliness in his voice. Why don't you ask her yourself? Kurenai, could you come in, please? Hiruzen called. Kurenai Yuhi then entered the cave, taking a seat across from the fire and cooking pot, sitting on a wooden bench. Yes, Hokage-sama. Is this the young boy you mentioned? She inquired. Indeed, this is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, this is Kurenai. When I told her about your eyes, she expressed a strong interest in mentoring you. She is arguably the most skilled Genjutsu specialist in Konoha, Hiruzen affirmed. Wow, your eyes are really beautiful, Miss Kurenai. Do you really want to train me? Naruto asked, hope evident in his tone. After hearing about you, Naruto, of course, I want to teach you. In fact, if my instincts are correct, by the end of these next 4 years, you might be teaching me, Kurenai responded with a wink. Naruto was stunned. He looked back and forth between the Hokage and Kurenai, his mouth slightly agape, wondering if this was all a dream. Coming to his senses, he made a hand sign and shouted, "Release." When he blinked and looked at his guests again, he tilted his head in awe. Kurenai leaned towards the Hokage and asked quietly, "Is this normal? Should we do something?" He'll adjust shortly. He's not accustomed to anyone wanting to spend time with him, at least not that he can remember. Most people are either afraid of his eyes or resentful of his situation, the Hokage whispered back. I see. This may indeed be a long 4 years, she replied thoughtfully. It had been 4 years since Naruto was taken under the wing of Konoha's Genjutsu mistress Kurenai Yuhi. During those years Naruto took 1 year to learn to control his eyes and promptly followed with challenging the academy graduation exams. Upon his early graduation at the age of 9, Naruto approached Kurenai and the Hokage about joining ANBU. After a long and heated debate between the three, Naruto convinced them to allow him to join ANBU only after Kurenai deemed him at a Chunin level. Flashback. Hokage Gigi, I want to join ANBU. I want to go on missions and get stronger. How can I do that if I don't have a team and I don't get to go on missions and I don't get to test my abilities against other villages since we aren't at war? Naruto exclaimed, frustrated with the lack of progress he had made over the past 2 hours going back and forth with Hiruzen and Kurenai. I understand you don't want me to join ANBU because of their intense practices, and I know of the dangers of route, but I can handle myself when it comes to internal village affairs regarding who controls me, Naruto spit out with venom. Upon hearing this Hiruzen immediately motioned for his ANBU to leave the office. Get me dog and then vacate the office please, he stated, a very serious look on his face. Naruto-kun, we will wait until dog gets here, and then we can continue this discussion. Hiruzen turned back to Naruto as he spoke. Seconds later, an ANBU with a dog mask appeared, kneeled beside the Sandaime's desk. You called, Hokage-sama? Dog spoke. Yes, allow me to activate the privacy seals, and you will understand why I have called you, Hiruzen replied as he made a couple hand signs, activating his seals around the room. Now, the reason I called you, is because Uzumaki-san here wishes to join ANBU, despite knowing the risks associated with the multiple organizations of influence within the village. He knows about Root? Dog asked, more to himself than to the room. That he does, how I do not know, but I should know by now not to underestimate his deduction skills. I believe Naruto-kun here would benefit greatly from joining ANBU, however I am reluctant to allow him to join without having certain precautions in place. I believe it would be best to wait until Kurenai-san believes that he is at a Chunin level before we allow him to join ANBU. I also think that if he is to join ANBU, he should be directly underneath your tutelage. What are your thoughts on this? Hiruzen asked as he turned from Dog to Kurenai. Well, Hokage-sama. I think you and I both know by now that once Naruto-kun here has set his mind to anything, he will not rest until he accomplishes it. As such, I find your terms for his admittance agreeable. I don't wish to lose my favorite little nightmare, but I can't think of anyone better to oversee his well-being than Dog-san here, Kurenai explained with some reluctance in her voice. If this is what you wish, I will accept my mission, Hokage-sama, Dog replied. There is no way he will be able to reach Chunin level anytime soon, is there? I've heard the rumors of his advanced learning curve, but still. He only just passed the Jinan graduation exams. Dog thought to himself. Additionally, I would like you to drop out of ANBU and return to join a Jinan team once your age group graduates from the academy, is that acceptable to you, Naruto-kun? Hiruzen asked. Hi, thank you, Hokage Gigi. I will be at Chunin level in no time, just you wait. Naruto stated with a confident smirk on his face. He was bubbling with excitement. Finally, I can continue getting stronger. No offense to Kurenai-sensei, but she has been rather limited in what Gigi has allowed her to teach me the last year. She was right about me ending up teaching her about Genjutsu as well. I need to find someone who can teach me about Fuinjutsu soon. Maybe after I'm out of ANBU. Alright, Naruto-kun, you are dismissed. Dog, Kurenai, please stay a moment please. Hiruzen said with a wave of his hand at Naruto. The little nightmare, as Kurenai calls him, was much too excited to ponder the last statement and practically floated out of the room, stuck in his musings. What is the matter, Hokage-sama? Kurenai questioned. Kakashi, I don't want you to reveal who you are to Naruto. I want him to know you only as Dog. If he truly wishes to join ANBU, then I want to see if he can maintain the distanced relationship between partners. I am going to send word to Jiraiya. I believe he will be very interested in his godson's current abilities. Hopefully in a few years he will return to the village to train him and get his Kyuubi chakra control at a safer level. That way we can hopefully avoid any further incidents like you had to deal with Kurenai. I will leave you to fill Kakashi in on the details of the occurrence. Hiruzen replied. Flashback end. We currently find Naruto sitting in the back of his age group's academy classroom in his standard ANBU gear, minus his pitch black mask, waiting silently for team assignments. Hiruzen had approached Naruto about leaving ANBU and joining his age group for Jinan teams. He successfully convinced Naruto that making more friends his current age would greatly benefit both him and the village as a whole. Sitting beside his only friend in the room, the Hyuga heiress, Naruto patiently awaited the instructor's entrance while ignoring the looks of inquisition he was receiving from the rest of the classroom. A boy with red marks on his cheeks and a puppy sitting on his head finally got fed up with the mysterious stranger sitting beside his crush and decided to approach. Hey new guy, who are you? I ain't seen you around here before. And how do you know Hinata? She doesn't seem like the kind of person to hang around goons like you, he jabbed. Naruto opened one of his eyes, not missing the look of surprise on the Inuzuka's face, and settled his stare on the boy. After successfully making the boy uncomfortable with his silent one-eyed stare, Naruto calmly replied, I am one of the people to be teamed with this age group. As for who Hinata spends her time with, don't you think it is up to her to decide, and not you, Kiba? That eye, is it a Sharingan? No, it's not red, it's yellow. But what is it? I've never heard of a dojutsu that is like that? Kiba thought, all while stunned by the gaze of a yellow eye with 4 tomoe circling a black slit for a pupil. The predatory gaze was severely unnerving for him. His animalistic instincts screaming at him to turn and run with his tail tucked between his legs. Akamaru whined when Kiba spoke. How do you know my name? I didn't introduce myself to you. I know you didn't, but I was briefed on everyone who I would possibly be teamed with. It is only logical to know who you will be teamed up with beforehand. Briefed? What are you, ex-ANBU? No one talks like that. Kiba scoffed. Kiba-kun, please don't antagonize Naruto-kun anymore. He is an old friend I met through Kurenai-sensei. Hinata finally chimed in. Since you inquired, I am ex-ANBU, now if you would so kindly return to your seat, I was enjoying the peacefulness beside Hina-chan before you made yourself known. Naruto states before closing his eyes again, waving Kiba off. Kiba grunts and turns around, returning to his seat. What is that guy's deal? And there is no way he is ex-ANBU, he looks like he is the same age as us, Kiba ponders. He would have continued his inquiries, but the boy's eyes unsettled him greatly. Naruto-kun, you didn't have to activate your eyes on Kiba-kun. He is harmless, really. Hinata whispered to Naruto. I know, but I didn't cast anything on him, just opened them to unnerve him a bit. He wouldn't have left me alone otherwise, Naruto replies without looking over. I don't know why it unnerves people, I think they are mesmerizing. Hinata muses more to herself than to Naruto. How do you know I'm not using them to influence you like that, Hinata-chan? Naruto whispers, adding the honorific to increase her blush. Hinata lightly hits him on the shoulder, stammering the whole time. Why you wouldn't dare Naruto-kun? She stammers out, poking her index fingers together and blushing. Naruto just winks in response, returning to his silent musings while waiting for the teacher to show up. After another 15 minutes, Iruka enters the room with a folder in his hands. Hello everyone, and congratulations on graduating from the academy. I have your team assignments here, so please listen up. As Naruto tunes him out, listening for his name. Team 7 is Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. Jonin Sensei is Kakashi Hatake. Iruka states, getting a grunt from Naruto. I was hoping to be on your team Hinata, too bad. Naruto whispers to her, getting a blush and a nod in response. Team 8 is Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, and Hinata Hyuga with Kurenai Yuhi as the Jonin Sensei. Interesting, I didn't know Kurenai Sensei was going to be taking a team this year. Makes sense I guess. Maybe she got sick of me, Naruto whispers with a smirk, receiving silent admonishment from Hinata. She would never get sick of you Naruto-kun, maybe she just couldn't get her request approved for you to be on her team, Hinata replies. Team 9 is still in rotation from last year, so Team 10 is Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi. Sensei is Asuma Sarutobi. Now that all the teams are assigned, please wait patiently for your team leaders for further instruction. Iruka said as he left the room. Immediately after Asuma and Kurenai entered. Team 10 meet me at Akimichi Barbecue in 15. Asuma barked as he shined away. His students left, with a muttering of troublesome. Team 8 meet me at training grounds 8 in 20 minutes, Kurenai said, but before she could leave she caught sight of a mop of red hair. Did you get tired of me Kurenai-sensei? I thought you would have told me if you were taking a Jinan team this year. Naruto spoke, with a smirk on his face. Naruto-kun, I wanted to surprise you by being your sensei again, but Hokage-sama argued that you had already taught me enough, and that I should share you, she replied with affection clear in her voice. Naruto smiled in return. Well I guess that makes sense, dinner tonight, for old time's sake? It's been a couple months since I got to cook for you too, Naruto questioned while glancing at Hinata. Hinata blushed and nodded, while Kurenai winked at him and shouted Team 8, let's go you're gonna be late, as she also shined away. Sasuke glanced at Naruto with a confused look on his face, questioning him about the odd interaction only to find Naruto with his eyes closed again after Team 8 left. He grunted before returning to ignoring the fawning of Sakura. A couple hours pass before Naruto starts to get irritated with his new sensei. About to make his irritation known, The door slid open to reveal a tall man with gravity-defying silver hair, a face mask covering his lower face and his headband covering one eye. His nose was buried in a little orange book, seemingly ignoring the three kids in the room. After a grunt, he looked up. He seems moody, must still be brooding. I see I also have the civilian pink-haired Kunoichi and Naruto. I wonder how long it will take for him to figure it out, Kakashi mused from over the top of his book. Hey, I smiled at the three before opening his mouth. Training ground 7 in 5 minutes, don't be late or I'll send you back here, he spoke, before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Naruto stood and also disappeared in a swirl of leaves, leaving a startled Sakura and Sasuke. Well, guess we better hustle, Sakura said before darting out the door with Sasuke on her heels. So, you changed your mind on teaching kids Dog-san? Naruto spoke from beside Kakashi. I didn't expect you to make the connection so quick, Naruto, as deft as always I see. Naruto deadpanned, your mask doesn't hide your hair, no one else in the village has hair like that. He replied, slightly offended that Kakashi had such low expectations of his deduction skills. I guess so, maybe I should have dyed my hair before taking this job, Kakashi mumbled to himself, earning another face fault from Naruto. So, you gonna put us through the teamwork test with the bells? You might fool Sakura, but I can't imagine the Uchiha not catching on to such a simple test. Naruto changed the subject. Well, I was going to use that test, I even borrowed Hokage-sama's special bells, but since you already figured it out, I guess the point would be moot. He shrugged. Soon after, Sakura and Sasuke arrived, both out of breath. How'd you get here so fast? What is your name again? Sakura asked between breaths. Naruto Uzumaki, and I shunshined here. Why didn't you guys? He replied, slightly confused as to why they took so long. What do you mean, why didn't we? We don't know how. That isn't a Genon level technique. She almost screeched. Damn, I see why she is called a banshee. I might have to pick up some earplugs if I want to get any peace and quiet between her fawning over the Uchiha and her screeching in response to anything else. Well, I guess the academy is slipping since the war, Kakashi? Naruto joked, earning an eye smile out of Kakashi. Yes, I suppose so, but then again, it takes a lot of chakra control to perform, and since the academy doesn't teach much chakra control, they can't safely learn the technique. Maybe I'll teach them eventually. Now that everyone is here, let's do some introductions before this test, Kakashi addressed his three Genon. Naruto groaned, having already expected this from his former comrade. Naruto Uzumaki, I like learning about my lineage and spending time with people close to me. I dislike ignorance, I'll keep my dreams to myself. I am a Genjutsu and Fuinjutsu specialist. Naruto rattled off the answers to the usual topics of these introductions, before looking toward Sakura. I'm okay, I am Sakura Haruno, I like Sasuke-kun, I dislike fangirls of Sasuke-kun, my dream is to prove to Sasuke-kun that I am his best choice for a girlfriend. I don't really have any specialties. Sakura spoke, all the while looking at Sasuke, which earned her an annoyed grunt from the moody Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha, I don't have any likes that concern you, I dislike being compared to my traitorous brother, I strive to grow strong enough to redeem my clan and take revenge on a certain someone. I would probably be better at ninjutsu and taijutsu than anything else. I'm a close to mid-range fighter. Sasuke stated, earning an intrigued look from Kakashi. Alright, well, now that is out of the way, let's move on to the tests. Since Naruto here figured out the original test already, I'll improvise a bit and evaluate your individual skills. Sakura, you're first, Kakashi explained, walking out into the clearing, waiting on Sakura to attack him. Wait, what about your introductions? She screeched, getting a wince from Naruto at the sheer volume of her cry. Oh right, I'm Kakashi Hatake, that is all you need to know. Now come at me with the intent to kill, or I will ship you back to the academy, he replied, not putting down his book or even looking at her. Frustrated, Sakura charged at him, throwing 2 kunai before getting in taijutsu range. Kakashi simply stepped to the side, before dodging her barrage of punches and kicks, silently making note of her sloppy form and many openings in her technique. This continued for 10 minutes before Sakura had tired herself out too much to continue, and plopped down on the ground, having not landed a hit. Done already? Guess you've got quite a bit of work ahead of you if you want to stay on this team, Kakashi said emotionlessly before pointing back to the other two Genin. Sakura, more than slightly dejected at the blatant insult of her skill, walked over to the sitting area and laid down, too exhausted to argue right now. Sasuke, up next. Kakashi ordered, still not taking his eyes off his book. Sasuke leapt over to a bush for cover, planning out his course of action. He fended off Sakura without looking away from his book. I'm going to have to bring out everything I have if I want to even scratch him. Sasuke reasoned, before throwing a barrage of shuriken, watching as they hit their mark, only for Kakashi to be replaced with a log. Damn, substitution. Now he knows where I am, have to find him and act quickly. Sasuke dashed to the next area of cover, and spotted a certain Jonin lazily lounging in a tree reading a book. Smirking, Sasuke crept up to him as quietly as possible, before launching into a physical assault of punches and kicks. Finding no success in his physical assault, Sasuke jumped back before weaving a couple hand signs fire style, great fireball jutsu. He shouted, spewing a giant fireball out of his mouth at Kakashi. Thinking he had landed a hit, Sasuke cockily walked forward, only to find a scorched log on the ground. Frowning, Sasuke went stiff when he felt a kunai point in his lower back. Not bad, but we've got some things to work on. Now let's get back to the others, Kakashi spoke, before disappearing from the forest. When Sasuke returned to the group and dropped down, tired from his test, Kakashi spoke. All right, I think I have a gauge on your abilities. We will meet back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. for training and possibly a mission if things go well. Dismissed. Before he could shine away, Sakura spoke up. Wait, what about Naruto? You didn't test him. How do we know he isn't useless? I don't need to evaluate Naruto, we served together in ANBU, and I'd rather not endure a week of nightmares or risk losing the use of my limbs just for a sparring match, Kakashi stated before vanishing, leaving two stunned Genin with their jaws practically on the ground, and a seemingly dozing red-haired boy. Was he serious, Naruto? You were in ANBU? And what did he mean by nightmares? Why would sparring with you cause him nightmares? Sakura asked, utterly bewildered by the revelation. Sasuke, meanwhile, quietly hoped for answers to Sakura's questions as well. He needed to assess his competition. Yes, I was a member of ANBU. I served under Kakashi-sensei as my superior officer for nearly 3 years. As for the nightmares, let's just say I employ a unique and highly potent form of genjutsu in my combat style. I didn't earn the title Red Nightmare without reason, Naruto replied, his eyes flashing as he briefly activated his dojutsu, casting a mild genjutsu. Sakura and Sasuke's eyes widened in shock as a massive fox materialized behind Naruto, its gaze piercing through them as though it were staring into their very souls, saliva dripping from its menacing grin. Just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished, and Naruto's eyes returned to their usual blue hue. What was that? Was that a genjutsu? But you didn't use any hand signs or incantations. Was that a Sharingan? But it was yellow. Sasuke bombarded Naruto with questions, still struggling to comprehend what had just transpired. Sakura remained frozen in fear, clutching her chest as she tried to process the encounter. That is my dojutsu, and it's classified information. So no, I won't be discussing it further, Naruto responded. Now, I have dinner plans with Kurenai-sensei and Hina-chan, so I'll be heading out. See you all tomorrow. With that, he vanished in a sunshine, retreating to his cave to prepare for the meal in a few hours. This is going to be a long few months. That concludes today's content. Please subscribe to my channel, Anime Octopus, for more updates. Thank you for your support.